Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be unboxing the Modular Board expansion for Scythe. Let's get rolling. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to unbox the Modular Board expansion for Scythe. And this will be a pretty quick video. Not my normal recording environment, so sorry if there's other sounds going on, but I'm just really excited to get this open, and I didn't want to wait, so I want to record it right away. But I do want to point out that I purchased this directly from Stonemaier Games from their US warehouse, and I purchased it in December of 2025. So I know previous versions had some minor issues where some of these icons were not centered on the board, and the tunnels were not highlighted in red. And so I believe at this point, all those copies, at least from the Stonemaier Games US warehouse, have been sold. And so this should be free of those defects. I'm pretty excited for that. And so let's just get this open. There's a little tear on the back, so I'll start there. Shout out to one of my viewers who I did a Scythe unboxing, I think like a year and a half ago. And it's a really cool game. I played it with a friend. We really liked it, but I struggled real hard with the solo mode and could not really figure it out. So as much as I liked the game, it kind of sat on the shelf. And so I was recently encouraged by a comment on that old video. Somebody just watched and said like, hey, are you ever going to play this on the channel? And I was like, man, the solo mode was hard. Couldn't figure it out. And they're like, just go give it another shot. So anyway, I was encouraged to give it another try. And the results were much better this time. And so I've been really into the solo mode lately. And so I plan to get this on the channel in 2026 at some point, hopefully play through Rise of Fenris. I think that would be cool. But now that I'm enjoying Scythe solo, I figured I could go ahead and get the modular board because I think outside of the metal mechs, this was the only expansion that I didn't have. So we've got our punch boards here, a new main board, and here's this rule book. So this is pretty cool. There's these 8 structure bonus tiles, and I'm going to go ahead and punch these out, but these can be used with or without the modular board. So I'm just going to, put these with the rest of my bonus tiles and shuffle them in. So these have some neat effects, and it just kind of changes things up a little bit. So I like the variety that these add. So this is module 1. And now let's start to take a look at some of these. So this does have a red highlight around it, though it is kind of light. It's not as bold as the ones on the main board, but that's okay. So these are double-sided. You can see there's another tunnel entrance there. And all these icons are centered. In the pictures I saw online, like these icons were off-centered. And some people, I mean, it's totally functional, but it would bother some people, probably myself included. So I kind of waited to get this. So we'll punch these out in a moment, and then let's open this up. Let's see if we can fit this whole thing on the screen. Is it double-sided? It is double-sided. But is it the same on both sides, or is it going to be different? Oh, no, it is different. There's 2 different versions of it. I do remember that now. So let's get this book off to the side. The 2 different sides have the pre-printed stuff a little bit different, but the idea is there are now 8 starting places on the board, and there are 4 of these 7 hex tiles that are double-sided. They're different on each of their sides, and you punch them out like so, and you mix them up, and you randomly place them somewhere in one of these 4 quadrants. You can see that there's spaces for them there, and then you also punch out these tokens and randomly distribute them, and distribute them along the map like so, so that everybody's got unique starting places. And then you can use that in a draft, and then this one is just nobody's regardless. It's just an empty spot. And so you can draft your factions and player boards depending on the layout of the map and where everybody starts. And I think that's a really interesting way to change things up. So let's see what this looks like. And so there's some decision space there about well, which faction are you playing? What's their Riverwalk ability? How are you going to be able to get out of your starting area? So there's just more things to consider. And it might lead to some imbalance, but it might lead to some cool stuff too. There you go. And I believe I read that anytime there's a lake that's next to a starting area, take that tile and just flip it over, and that will always fix the problem. And so you can see this is obviously a very different way to start the game. And let's see, are these? Yeah, these all have the house like that on the backside, so you can shuffle them up. That's pretty cool. So let's, just for fun, set these aside. Real quick, I will grab these. Let's take a look at this board if you like. I'll get these out of here. So go ahead and study this board if you want to look at all the pre-printed stuff, and then I'll flip it over and we can compare to the other side. Okay, and here's the other side. I don't have a photographic memory, so but I do seem to remember there were pre-printed farms, and now I don't see any farms. It looks like maybe I don't know if there's more lakes on this side, but there's a lot of lakes. And then let's place these 4 back here on the table, and we'll take a quick look at them, and then I'll flip them over, and I'll keep them in their places. So I'll flip each one just horizontally so you can kind of compare it to the other side. All right, so here's the other side for comparison of each of these. And obviously we've got a couple illegal placements with the lakes next to the starting places. So let's just swap these two. Just to kind of demo what a map might look like. Now, a couple things to point out. So this is going to change the locations of all the tunnels, which is why they've got the red highlight. Again, that's not quite as bold as the other board, though. That would have been nice. But so you've got to have more awareness of the map. And also you can have this scenario like here now where there is a lake that borders a river. Same thing here. In those cases, the lake is just considered to be the river is considered to be part of that lake. So you don't, if you had the ability to go on lakes, you don't need Riverwalk ability to get there. It's just treat that as the lake. And then if we take these and mix them up, I like this, that they're all the same on the back, so you can really randomize them. And we'll just start at 12 o'clock and go around the table. And let's see what this layout looks like. Oh, that's the blank one. Interesting. I think that's pretty close to what I had. Sorry, my mic cut out there. I think this is pretty close to the demo layout I had before, but this is what a layout might look like before you go to start drafting your starting faction. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing it. It's really exciting. Also, one other thing that this allows for, and I know there's rules in the booklet. I'll take a look at them later, but you can remove some of these if you wanted to play a smaller player count game, like 2 or 3 players, and you're playing on a much smaller board now. And you can do it whatever manner you want. You can go diagonally or next to each other or whatever. But now the resources are going to be a lot more tight on the board. And so you're not quite so spread out now in a 2 or 3 player game. So that's pretty cool too. I'm probably going to look at playing it that way as well with the Automa. But there you go. That is the modular board expansion for Scythe, and I was just really excited to get it open and start playing with it, and I wanted to record this right away. But that being said, this video is probably not going to come out for a while because I've got some stuff going on. But at least I've got it recorded now for anybody who's wondering. Now, again, if you are in another region of the world, or if you're buying from your local game store or some online retailer, there's no guarantee of what they have in their warehouse if they have the first printing of this expansion or a later printing. So it may be possible that you can buy it new and still get the version without the red outlines around the hexes and maybe the off-center printing. So just be aware of that. There's probably some old videos from like 5 or 6 years ago of unboxings where you can see that if that's something you want to see. I do know I saw online there were like Etsy sellers that were selling stickers with the red borders that you can add on there if that's something you want to do. But anyway, I covered what I want to cover, and now I got to get out of here. So thank you so much for watching Table for One. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments if that's something you want to do. You can like it on BGG as well. This video will be up there. Feel free to share it if you like, and you can always head over to my coffee page, ko-fi. There's a link in the description, and you can drop me a couple bucks, and that would really be appreciated. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching Table for One, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.